If I only had $700 to spend, these are the gaming TVs I'd buy. TCL 65QM6K. This is the TV that completely blindsided me with its brightness. Honestly, it's so vibrant, it almost feels like it shouldn't be in this price range. When I first fired this up in my bright living room, I was blown away by how it just cuts through glare, making it fantastic for daytime gaming sessions. I spent a lot of time playing some fast-paced shooters, and the 144Hz refresh rate felt incredibly smooth and responsive, with input lag being almost a non-issue. However, I did notice that in game mode, the picture can sometimes feel a little washed out, and it loses a bit of that sharpness and contrast you get from more premium sets, especially in darker scenes. It's not a deal breaker, but something I picked up on when comparing it side by side with an OLED. For anyone who primarily games in a bright room and wants that high refresh rate feel without breaking the bank, this is an absolute beast of a value. LG B5 65 inches. The LG OLED is all about those perfect inky blacks that make everything feel more cinematic and immersive. The first time I loaded up a game with a lot of dark environments, the contrast genuinely shocked me. There's just no blooming or glowing around bright objects like you get on other TVs. The motion clarity is where this TV ruined other panels for me. With its near-instant response time, everything is exceptionally crisp, which I found perfect for story-driven games and anything where visual fidelity is key. The trade-off is that it just can't compete with the TCL on brightness, so if you have a lot of windows, you might find yourself struggling with reflections during the day. It also only has two HDMI 2.1 ports, which feels a bit limiting if you have multiple next-gen consoles and a soundbar. This is the one for the dedicated gamer who plays in a darker room and prioritizes stunning picture quality and response time over raw brightness. If it were my money, I'd buy the LG B5 because the perfect blacks and instantaneous response of the OLED panel create a more immersive and premium gaming experience for my late-night sessions. Here's what I'd buy if I only had $1,000 to spend on a gaming TV. TCL 65QM7K. This one is a powerhouse for the price and honestly surprised me with just how good it is for gaming. The moment I fired up a fast-paced shooter, I noticed how incredibly responsive it felt, thanks to the seriously low input lag. It supports 4K at a buttery smooth 144Hz, and the variable refresh rate keeps everything tear-free, which is a huge deal when you're in the middle of an intense match. I was impressed with how it handled motion, even in chaotic scenes. The image remained crisp and clear. The colors are vibrant and the picture detail is excellent, making games look fantastic. If I have to be picky, the viewing angles aren't the best, so you'll want to be sitting front and center for the optimal experience. But for a solo gaming session, it's a dream. It's the perfect TV for a dedicated gamer who wants top-tier performance without completely breaking the bank. Hisense U7K. The Hisense U7K is what I'd call the versatile performer, and it really shines in a living room setup where you do more than just game. What I loved right away was its brightness. This thing gets so bright that glare is hardly an issue, even in a well-lit room. It also supports 4K at 144Hz and has a dedicated game mode that keeps input lag low, making for a smooth gaming experience. Where it stands out is its Dolby Vision gaming support, which makes compatible games look stunningly cinematic. While the black levels aren't quite as deep as the TCLs, the color accuracy right out of the box is fantastic, so you're getting a very natural looking picture without having to mess with settings. The built-in game menu is a nice touch, letting you quickly adjust settings on the fly. This is the ideal TV for someone who wants a great gaming experience but also values a bright, color-accurate picture for movies and TV shows in a variety of lighting conditions. Between these two, I would buy the TCL 65QM7K because its superior contrast and black levels provide a more impactful and immersive gaming experience in a dark room. If I only had $1,500 to spend, these are the gaming TVs I'd buy. Samsung S90F 65 inches. This is the TV that made me a believer in QD OLED for gaming. The brightness and color volume are just on another level. In my experience, the S90F delivers an incredibly punchy and vibrant image, especially in HDR, that other OLEDs at this price just can't match. I was blown away by the fact that flipping on game mode doesn't dim the picture at all, so you get that super low input lag and high refresh rate without any compromise to the visual quality. I ran with my PC at 4K 144Hz and the motion clarity was flawless, with absolutely no noticeable blur thanks to near instantaneous pixel response. My only gripe that is out of the box, some brightness fluctuation can be distracting in mixed light game scenes, but turning off dynamic tone mapping fixed it right up. This is the perfect TV for gamers who prioritize a bright, vibrant, and impactful HDR experience and want the best possible picture quality while gaming. LG C5 65 inches. The LG C5 is the ultra-reliable refined to near perfection, and it really shines for its cinematic presentation and deep customization. When I was playing story-driven games, I found the C5 rendered dark scenes with more nuance and shadow detail than the Samsung, which gave it a more realistic and immersive feel. It supports a full suite of gaming features including 4K at 144Hz on all 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, G-Sync and FreeSync, making it a dream for both console and PC players. I especially love the Game Optimizer menu, which gives you granular control over every aspect of the picture, something other TVs lack. The main trade-off I noticed is that it does get visibly dimmer when you switch to Game Optimizer mode, which can make HDR highlights feel a little less impactful compared to the S90F. This TV is the easy choice for gamers who also watch a lot of movies and want that cinematic quality plus deep control over their gaming settings. If I had to spend my own $1,500, I would buy the Samsung S90F for its stunning HDR brightness in game mode, which delivers a more visually impressive gaming experience without compromise. If I had $2,000 to spend, these would be my top gaming TV choices. LG G5 65 inches. This is the TV that genuinely ruined other gaming displays for me this year. In my experience, the sheer brightness of this OLED panel is a game changer. HDR highlights in games like Cyberpunk 2077 just pop in a way I haven't seen on other screens, making everything feel more lifelike and intense. As someone who games on PC and multiple consoles, having 4 HDMI 2.1 ports is a massive quality of life win, and the 165Hz refresh rate delivers some of the most fluid motion I've ever experienced. With input lag so low it feels directly wired to my brain, honestly, the only place it doesn't knock it out of the park is the audio. The built-in speakers are fine, but a display this good deserves a dedicated soundbar. For the hardcore multi-platform gamer who demands peak performance, responsiveness, and HDR punch, this is the one to get, no question. Sony Bravia A2 65 inches. The Sony Bravia A2 is tailor-made for the dedicated console gamer who prioritizes a cinematic feel, especially if you're in the PlayStation ecosystem. The moment I plugged in my PS5, the TV automatically optimized all the HDR settings, which was a seamless and impressive touch. The picture quality is stunningly accurate, and colors that feel natural and true to life, and the black levels are perfect, making games look incredibly immersive. What really surprised me was the audio. Sony's Acoustic Surface Audio Plus is fantastic, making the sound feel like it's coming directly from the screen, and is powerful enough that you might not even need a soundbar. However, for my setup, the two HDMI 2.1 ports felt restrictive, and being capped at 120Hz is a noticeable step down if you're a high refresh rate PC gamer. This is the perfect choice for a PS5 owner who wants incredible picture quality and top-tier integrated sound for a clean setup, and isn't chasing the highest possible refresh rates. If I had $2,000, I would buy the LG G5 65 inches because its superior 165Hz refresh rate, lower input lag, and 4 HDMI 2.1 ports provide the best performance and flexibility for a multi-platform gaming setup. If money was no object, these are the gaming TVs I'd go for. Samsung S95 f 65 inches. This is the one that completely changes what you expect from a high-end gaming TV. It's so responsive it almost feels like it's reading your mind. In my experience, the nearly instantaneous response time and incredibly low input lag make a tangible difference, especially in fast-paced shooters where every millisecond counts. I was blown away by the 165Hz refresh rate when I hooked it up to my PC. The motion is just unbelievably clear. The colors are ridiculously vibrant and pop in a way that just ruins other TVs for you. But I did notice that without a well-balanced color mode, it can sometimes feel a bit over the top. The glare-free screen is a lifesaver for gaming during the day, though some videophiles might not love the matte finish. For PC gamers or anyone with multiple consoles, having 4 full bandwidth HDMI 2.1 ports is a massive win. If you are a competitive gamer who demands the absolute fastest response times and highest refresh rates, this is your TV, hands down. Sony Bravia A2 265 inches. The Sony Bravia A2 is all about that immersive cinematic gaming experience. The moment I fired up a story-driven game, the picture quality just pulled me in. What surprised me was the sheer richness and natural feel for the colors. Sony's processing just has this way of making everything look incredibly lifelike without feeling artificial. For my PS5, the auto setup with HDR tone mapping is a genuinely useful feature that makes games look perfect without any menu diving. However, I have to be honest, it's not the top pick for hardcore competitive players. It's limited to 120Hz refresh rate and only has 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, one of which is the eARC, which is a real pain if you have a soundbar with multiple next-gen consoles. The input lag is also a bit higher than the competition, which you can feel if you're coming from a super fast monitor. This is the perfect TV for the gamer who prioritizes stunning picture quality and an immersive single-player experience over raw competitive performance. If I have to choose one, I would buy the Samsung S95F because its superior gaming features, including the higher refresh rate and 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, make it a more versatile and future-proof option for a multi-platform gamer like me. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the best gaming TVs for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description. Alright, peace out.